Pardon the interruption, but I'm Mike Wilbon on assignment tonight in Chicago.
I'm Tony Kornheiser. Does that assignment involve box seats or a luxury suite? Just asking.
Great seats, Tony, great seats, but I'm outside. I'm outdoors, and it's going to be a game time. First pitch temperature of like 57 with some wind.
That's terrible. No, you shouldn't even go. No, don't even go. If you can't get indoors in a suite, do they know who you are? You're Michael Wilbon. Come on now.
Happy to be where I am. Happy to be where I am.
Welcome to PTI, boys and girls. In today's episode, the Yankees are out. Bill Belichick is not. And Booger McFarland joins us for 5 good minutes. But we begin today with the two National League teams that avoided elimination last night, the Phillies and your Cubs. The Phillies got 2 bombs from Kyle Schwarber on their way to a rout of the Dodgers 8-2, and your Cubs got all 4 of their runs in the bottom of the first inning and then held on for dear life to narrowly beat Milwaukee 4-3. Wilbon, what do you make of how they did it, and which team do you think is more likely to win again tonight?
Tony, you know, I love seeing, even if I wasn't skin all in on one of these games, the one here at Wrigley Field tonight, 8:08 Eastern, I want to see 5 games. I want to see them go for drama, and I really want to see the Cubs make Milwaukee go back and be the best team in baseball. They've been the best team in baseball. They were certainly that when they were, 36-12 or whatever they were for a while there. Make them be the best team in baseball by winning tonight. I just don't know if the Cubs will score enough runs. Matthew Boyd is going again, this time on regular rest. That bodes better, if not well, for the Cubbies. Look, if Philadelphia can hit the baseball, and we know Schwarber, Tony, that home run only ever, I think, Willie Stargell. Yeah. I mean, the first one, my God, that
8,000 feet. 8,000
feet. Be, it can threaten the opposition. I know professional athletes will say they're not intimidated. BS. They can be intimidated, and Schwarber's capable. Now, I think the Dodgers will bounce back, but I think both or either of these series, it wouldn't surprise me to see either one go to 5, and I don't think it would surprise you either. The Blue Jays eliminated the Yanks in last night's Game 4 as New York starter Cam Schlittler could not replicate the dominance he showed against the Red Sox in the wild card series. Tom, where does that outcome put each of these teams?
Well, it puts Toronto in the ALCS, and I'll get to them in a second. I want to start with the Yankees, and I want to talk about the notion that people want to fire Aaron Boone because his playoff record at the moment is 25-27. Aaron Boone started managing that team in 2018, and since he's been there, they have the 3rd most wins in baseball, right? I mean, my feeling is that Aaron Boone knows what he's doing. They got 94 wins this year, which is the same as Toronto. They get into the playoffs without their best pitcher, Garrett Cole, throwing 1 pitch all year. Right. They lose a Cy Young guy. They make the playoffs with 94 wins, right? And then they beat the Red Sox in a wild card series. I know it's a disappointment that they did not beat Toronto, but I think 95% of Yankees fans, given the choice, would take 20 losses to Toronto to beat the Red Sox once. They had a chance last night. They left 10 people on. The 6th inning, the 7th inning, the 8th inning, the 9th inning, they had runners in scoring position. They only brought 1 in. I don't blame Aaron Boone for that. Tony, I don't blame him for that.
I'm with you right down the line. This is not 1927, where Ruth and Gehrig get to play a regular season and advance straight to the World Series. Baseball decided to add 9 layers of playoffs, and you're not going to win every year when you're playing teams that have the same or close to the same resources as you. They were in the World Series last year, where they played a team with every bit the resources, the Dodgers, and they didn't win. Toronto is a big market, rich team with star players, Vlad Guerrero. Come on now. The Dodgers aren't some homecoming opponent. People are idiots. Don't get rid of Aaron Boone to bring in who's going to do what differently. That's silly.
Let me just make this point. I saw 3 different friends of mine today who said to me with glee they were happy the Yankees were out because the Yankees spend so much money and Toronto doesn't. I said, do not confuse Toronto with Tampa Bay. Okay?
That's right.
The Yankees are the 3rd payroll, and Toronto is the 5th payroll. This is not the rich against the poor. It is not. Let's move to college football and the sound of one shoe dropping for Bill Belichick. North Carolina and Belichick last night released a joint statement pledging mutual commitment to the Carolina football program. And then the Carolina AD, Bubba Cunningham, said Belichick had, quote, the full support of the school. The team is 2-3, and there was talk bubbling up that Belichick might be bought out. Wilbon, what does this statement of mutual commitment say to you?
It didn't say anything to me. I don't know what it means. People put out statements now. Then a week later, somebody's going to social media. It's all just, I'm going to go to one of my favorite words. It's all junk. I just don't know what it is Bill Belichick wants to do. We're rarely let inside his real thoughts. Like, is he embarrassed by this? Is this catching him totally by surprise? There were college football observers, close observers, who thought this was going to be a failed experiment anyway, and so far it looks like they're right. Would Belichick walk away after a year? Suppose they turn it around and win 4 straight games at the end of the season and they get going. Can he build a program? Or is NIL a transfer portal and $2 million freshman quarterbacks? Is that all beyond Bill Belichick? I don't know what it means, Tony. I'm fascinated. Yeah. I refuse to so far assign it meaning.
So last night I thought a lot about this because I was texting back and forth with a friend of mine who knows, he's very conversant with the college scene in the state of North Carolina. And he said he had heard they were coming for him. The Sharks were coming for him. Get rid of him right now. And I wrote back and I said, if that were to happen, I think it would be awful. I think it would be a terrible stain on Bill Belichick's career. I think it would bleed into everything he had done in the NFL if that were to happen right now. And I said, and I think that would be unfair. And I pointed out, I'm not a fan of Belichick's personally. I'm not, but he and North Carolina got into this together. They ought to get out of this together. I don't think you just dump the guy right away like this. And I had previously talked to someone who really knew the North Carolina team well. And he said after they lost to TCU, he said, don't expect anything this year. They don't have any talent. You cannot judge Belichick for 2 years. And that was what people said about Deion going to Colorado. You just cannot make an immediate judgment. You can't do it. Woo. But Belichick's behavior, to be fair, recently has been, and I'm being charitable here, odd. It's been a little bit odd, right? I mean, the stuff with Kraft and the Patriots and, and saying they're the 33rd NFL team. Come on, you're getting crushed. Here's the scores, 120-33 in the 3 Power 4 groups. I was going to say Power 5, but the Pac-12 doesn't exist. Week 6 of the NFL kicks off tonight, which makes it a perfect time for a visit from our great friend, ESPN NFL and college football analyst Booger McFarland, wearing a golf shirt from Garden City Golf Club, my boyhood home of Long Island. Let's start with this. Tonight's game, Thursday night game, Eagles and Giants. What will you be watching for in this game, Booger?
First thing I'm going to look at, I'm going to see what book A.J. Brown's going to be reading. The second thing, I'm going to see what kind of glasses Big Dom has on. And then thirdly, how many times do they hand the football to Saquon Barkley? That's got to be the question du jour. Understand this. The Philadelphia Eagles are a running football team. And for Saquon Barkley to carry the ball so few times last week, I think there has to be an answer for that. I think there was an overcorrection last week getting the football to the wide receivers. So this week, I think there's going to be an overcorrection getting back to doing what they normally do. And that's running the football with Saquon Barkley, running the ball with Jalen Hurts. Let's see if we can get Jalen Carter a sack because he's been a disappointment so far. I want to see this team play a complete football game because if they don't, the New York Football Giants have a defensive line led by Abdul Carter, Kayvon Thibodeau, Sexy Dexy Lawrence. They can get after the Eagles up front if they don't play. And this game could be a fourth quarter game when I really think nobody across America thinks it's going to be.
Let's talk about a team you had pegged early on, Booger. The 1-4 Baltimore Ravens are playing host to the Rams this week. Their defense has been dreadful. You were on this week 1. Are you surprised? Is this bad even though you saw it coming? And what in the world can they do to change it?
Yeah, I'm surprised it's this bad. Like, John Harbaugh's a really good coach. I love Zach Orr, the defensive coordinator. I know what they're trying to do, but somewhere between the practice field and the game field, it's not getting done. And they try to go out and they try to fix it. They signed Jair Alexander, to kind of cover up the back end, but their pass defense is the one that's really struggling. I just know this. I know there's a sign in that building. It says, "Play like a Raven." And that sign has been there for a long time. Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, all the guys that have come through there, play like a Raven. Right now, I think it's a mentality because they're not playing like a Raven. Like, sometimes you can throw the X's and O's out the window. Hey, guys, I'm going to roll the ball out there. We got to roll our sleeves up and we got to go fight. I want to see some fight in this team because if they don't fight, they're going to be 1-5. And as our buddy John King on CNN says, hey, the math is not going to add up because at some point, if you're 1-5, that's 6 games. You only got 11 left. And if the math don't add up for you getting into the postseason, then I'm afraid it may be late, very, very early for this team.
One omission quickly, LeBron will miss the start of the season due to sciatica. Did you know he had that? Let's go to the big finish. The Las Vegas Aces beat the Phoenix Mercury last night to go up 3-0 in the WNBA Finals. It's all over, isn't it?
Sabally is out with his head injury, and that's awful. And Asia Wilson was great with that shot from her favorite spot. It just, it doesn't look good in the bottom part of the desert. Draisaitl, Leon, gets his 400th last night in a shootout loss to the Flames. You impressed with that?
I'm impressed with him and McDavid. Giannis says he's committed to the Bucks, but also said it would be, quote, human to change his mind in the future. Do you agree?
I got him going by the trade deadline, Tom. NBA.com survey, 80% of the GMs picked the Thunder to repeat. Are you with them?
I'm not. Last one, our friend Eric Spoelstra will succeed our friend Steve Kerr as the new head coach of USA Basketball. Good choice, right?
No, great choice. I know we both feel great choice.
Really good. We're out of time. We will try to do better the next time. I'm Tony Kornheiser.
I'm Mike Wilbon. Same time tomorrow, Knuckleheads. 80% going with OKC. I picked OKC last year, but I don't think I'm picking them this year.